Hello there, everyone. This is, the next part of Arc 1, The Call, for What If Deku Was a Spartan? There are 4 things that I would like to talk about. First one is me explaining why I'm doing arcs instead of parts. And this will be a much more thorough but also quick explanation for you guys. So the reason simply is I'm kind of wanting to tell a story here, and each arc will be a evolution of said story. All the arcs will tie together at some point. Some of these arcs might not even focus on the main character, but side characters and that, and maybe out of the 3 OCs. So yeah. This is me trying to make a what if that's more cooperative for all of you guys. Ones that you can, help out. So yeah, any opinions that you have on this particular what if, I will consider it, and if I like the idea that you have, and if I think it will work well with one of the arcs, I will use it. But with that out of the way, time to move on to, the second most important matter. 2 people so far have, figured out references. One is Undying What Ifs, and the other one is Kuru. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, considering that it is Kuro. But if I am, thank God. If I'm not, I am so sorry for butchering your name. But yeah. If you want to see the references that they figured out and what they are personally wanting to do, you can find them in the first comment sections of Arc 1, The Call. For, this particular series. As one was minor, and one I'm honestly surprised that there's somebody here that has read the books other than me. So yeah. Congratulations on dying in Kuru. There is 1 spot left for all of you guys, and there will be more references in, this, part of the arc. So, yeah. Also, some of the characters, like the High General, will be getting a name. And I won't be saying what names they are now, as you will have to sit through and watch the rest of, the video. Third part is that, the challenge will still be going on. The terms of the challenge will change once again, once the, 3 winners have been declared. Other than that, once I have found the 3 winners, or the last winner I should say, as I have already found 2, those who, catch the references, I will hear your ideas for this particular what if, and see if they can be implemented. Now time for the, third one. This one is for my fantasy-based viewers. If you guys want to, watch more fantasy-based what-ifs than, my sci-fi ones, I have a second channel called Demonic Radio Host. There will be a link to it in the description, along with my Discord server, the What If Crew. So if any of you guys want to, help get that particular channel at least up to 1K, then you would be doing me a great service. So yeah. On that note though, everything is done that I need to say, so let's start the video. As we cut to, the POV of, the lieutenant in the cryopod, as the lieutenant simply sees their visor start lighting up and showing a readout sign. As we now hear a low hum of the visor, as the visor snaps to life, allowing, light to come through. As the lieutenant simply looks up and sees, an emergency release hatch lever to open up the pod. As the lieutenant would also look on the outside of the pod, seeing a technician. They're, working at a terminal in front of their pod. As the technician would look up with a smile and say to, the lieutenant, "Nice to see that you're up, Lieutenant." It's about time. I swear the High General might have blown a gasket if we weren't able to get you up. As the technician would chuckle a bit, with the chuckles finally stopping, with them pressing, a communicator on their ear. As the lieutenant would simply just see them mumble and, nod their head. As the technician would simply return, saying, "Alright, Lieutenant, we're going to put you through the defreezing procedure. After that, I'll be sending power to your suit through the cryopod. Once your suit's powered up, though, we would like you to take things slow. We don't need you blowing a servo of your armor. After all, your armor costs more than, this whole entire frigate combined, Lieutenant." As we simply see, the lieutenant nod at that, confirming that the lieutenant understands. As we can simply hear, hissing from the pod, as steam or smoke starts to, rise, skewing everybody's view of, the lieutenant in the pod. As the door would slowly open up, as the lieutenant is still covered by a type of fog, mist, or smoke-like cloud. As the technician simply says, "Alright, Lieutenant, powering up your suit now." As the suit powers up, as we simply see, a green boot, almost the size of the technician's leg, come out of the pod. As a armored hand reaches out and grabs the corner of the pod, with the other hand doing the same. As throughout the, smoke or mist or whatever it's covering, the Spartan, we see, a serial number on the left side of the armor. S001. As on the right side, we can see a stylized eagle with the initials UNSC below. As we simply hear, a voice come out of the speakers of the helmet. But a voice that we cannot discern that is male or female quite yet. As they simply say, "Why was I woken up?" As the technician simply says, I'm not privy to that information, Lieutenant. That's why I'm to bring you directly to, the High General. There you will be debriefed on the mission and why you have been woken up, Lieutenant." As the Spartan simply nods, not questioning why they're being called a lieutenant now. As they think something must have bad really happened. In order for them to, jump through the ranks so much. As a few minutes later, we cut to, the command bridge of the USS Hope, a stalwart-class frigate of the UNSC, the only frigate and spacefaring ship to exist at the moment. As the High General hears, the hydraulic blast doors open. As they turn around, as they walk around the table to see, the technician that they sent to go wake up, the Spartan. As the General simply takes off her cap as she looks at, the Spartan in her bridge. As she just simply smiles, saying, "Well, you're a big one." As the Spartan simply looks down at her, saying nothing. As the General just puts her hat back on. As she walks over to, the table, as the table turns on. As the Spartan walks towards the table. As the General simply begins to talk. Before I give you your debrief, Lieutenant, I should probably introduce myself. I'm High General Ellie Halsey. But you can call me, Madam or Sir. As the Spartan just nods, saying, "All right, sir." As the commander simply, smiles and nods at that, as she simply says, a month ago, the UN lost its foothold in, well, the Middle East. A new, well, power has arisen there, like all great nuisances to, well, humanity has. As the Spartan knows this very well, due to the history classes that they had to take before becoming, well, what they are now. Something more. As they know that the Middle East has been high with terrorism for a very long time. As the Spartan simply asks, I assume that the UN was not able to hold their ground. As the General simply nods, saying, exactly. We, the Navy, along with the ground forces of the UNSC, the Army, are being sent in under the codename Operation Uppercut. We are to go in, relieve any Allied forces, and crush this insurrection. The UN does not care how it gets done, they just want this stain of the world wiped off the face of the map. After Operation Uppercut has been initiated, we are to move on with Operation First Strike, hitting right at the heart of their operations in full force. The weapon upgrades that the UNSC has, along with, well, are better vehicles than the standard ones of the nations down below, will give us an edge. Mostly you. You have two goals in this operation, Spartan. Find the leaders of this little insurrection and bring them to justice. The UN preferably wants them alive, so they can stand trial against crimes against humanity. And your second task is to keep the morale of the troops up. So that means no dying, Spartan. But, oh wait, that's right. I forgot. You guys don't die, you go missing in action. As the Spartan kind of just glares at her through their helmet. As the Spartan simply says, "Is there anything else, sir?" As she simply says, "Negative, soldier. Get a move on. The technician over there will show you the way to the armory. When there, you'll be meeting with the colonel and his unit." As the Spartan simply nods and walks off. As before the Spartan makes it to the doors, the general simply says something to the Spartan. As she simply says, "And when you get there, give them hell for me, alright?" As we soon see the commander rubbing where our arm would once have been. As the Spartan just nods as they walk out, as we cut to the armory of the USS Hope. As we can see, well, a group of Marines in full battle kit with their light-plated titanium armor, dubbed the Insurrectionist BDU armor. As we can see, one in a much more modified variant of the Insurrectionist BDU armor, with a solid black finish. With a helmet under one arm and an assault rifle in the other. As we simply hear them say, "Alright boys, you heard the music. Nice to see you, you're all dressed and ready to go to the ball though." But I guess I should say a few words to get your spirits up. I'm just gonna come out and say and be blunt about it. Most of us will be going down there. But we are Marines and shock troops, the best out of the best. The people down on Earth have seen nothing like us before. We will show them that heroes will no longer be needed. We will show them that we have the power to quell the villains of the world and bring humanity into a new age of freedom. And while doing it, we will be laughing like lunatics. Am I right, Marines? As the Marines would chorus saying, "Sir, yes, sir." As the Colonel would simply nod, saying, damn right I am." As the doors would open behind the Colonel, as the Colonel would turn around and smile at a old friend. "Well, looks like Big, Green, and Gorgeous has arrived. We're truly blessed, aren't we, Marines?" With the Marines shouting in chorus again, saying, "Sir, yes, sir." With the Colonel nodding at this, with him, well, waving the gun, waving his hand with the assault rifle in it, saying, "Alright, move out. Get to your drop vehicles." As the Spartan simply says, "Well, you gotten interesting since I fell asleep." With the Colonel simply, well, laughing a bit, saying, "Understandable. Still, are you gonna show any of us what's under that helmet of yours? Or are you still going to be a vampire and be afraid of sunlight?" With the Spartans shaking their head in the negative, with the Colonel laughing, saying, "I can't blame an old bird for trying, eh?" With the Spartan simply saying to, well, the Colonel, "I came here for a weapon, sir. with the Colonel simply smiling, saying, "Very well. I have just the thing for you." As we simply, cut to the vehicle bay. As we can see Pelicans in many different types of vehicles, with a bunch of troops running to the Pelicans, ready for, drop. As we see, the Colonel entering a vehicle in his shock trooper armor, as he simply says, "All right, Marines, listen up." As everyone in every single Pelican listens, as he is saying this through, the radio of his helmet. "The lovely boys of the Ghost Division are going in first through drop pods. They are to make landing sites for us. We are doing this in daylight, everyone, so the world will be seeing us in action. Don't do anything to disgrace the name of the UNSC, or I will personally kick your ass to hell itself and back. And then put a cap in ya." As we simply see, the Spartan getting a different Pelican, as they are getting this right through their helmet feed. As he sees some, the shock troopers in the, Pelican with him, along with some of the Marines looking at them. With one of the Marines whispering and pointing at, the giant of a soldier. An armor more expensive than the whole ship combined. As we can hear multiple of the bay doors start to hiss, as we can see the doors to the Pelicans begin to close and pressurize, sealing, oxygen inside. For, the soldiers until they get to, the ground. As we simply hear from, multiple cockpits, as we cut to, the command bridge of, the USS Hope, as the commander is hearing multiple confirmations saying that they are ready for deployment. All troops accounted for and ready to drop. As the commander hears a specific one. "This is Echo 219. All troops accounted for. Engines are hot, along with green. We're ready to drop, ma'am. Special packages aboard as well." As we simply just see, the commander smiling. As the commander simply nods, saying, through the comms, "Green light is a go. All birds, you are free to launch." As we cut to, Echo 219, as the troops in their harness grab a hold of it tightly as the G-forces start to hit. Due to, the mechanized locks holding up the Pelicans, sending them down with a little bit of force. As we can hear the thrusters and engines of the Pelicans start up. As the Pelicans start flying towards, the Middle East. As we cut to, the view of the lieutenant. As they look up through, the small window port of the back of, the Pelican, to see them slowly move away from, the USS Hope. As all we can see is a Halo 3 style of frigate of the UNSC in outer space. As this is where I'm going to end it, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this What If. I'm certainly doing this differently than my other ones. But yeah. There are more references in this ones for those of you who want to take a jab at it. Also, I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, of all the times that you're making, a Halo What If, why now? Simple reason is to, commemorate Halo Infinite. And, the good Halo games, in my opinion. Mostly the, Bungie trilogy. But as I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. There are references dotted all over this, so have fun. I hope you're having, a good night or a day, depending where you are.